World Financial Group offers entrepreneurs from all backgrounds the opportunity to start their own business on a level playing field. Dr. Yana Woodhouse, receiving the WCM Wall Street Pioneer Award by the United Black Wall Street of America, Inc., is one of those entrepreneurs.
I see WFG and TFA as a place where African Americans with an entrepreneurial mindset can flourish. And the bonus, we help families and serve the communities across the country.
To learn more about us, go to worldfinancialgroup.com.
We are the sons and daughters of the soul. We are resilient and forever forward-thinking. We ask for nothing else than the opportunity to live and to create the lives that we were meant to live. We want nothing but an equal chance at options and possibilities. The same possibilities and options to live out our potential as our fellow man. We want to be heard, understood, and expressive in our reality. We are the future. We are the creative. We are here.
Live from Soul City, Good Morning Community. Good Morning Community is a platform where members of the community can find out more about small businesses, artists, entrepreneurs, members of our community, and community-based organizations. Also, how to get involved, how to connect online, volunteer, or donate, as well as some of the resources and services they provide. At Good Morning Community, we offer encouragement, share resources, and we encourage you to hold yourself accountable. But most importantly, we genuinely want to see you win. My name is Eartha Watts Hicks. I am the CEO of Eartha Tone Books, publisher of Love Changes, Graffiti Mural, and a planner as a girl's best friend, as well as a freelance writer, editor, and PR writer and affiliate for BlackPR.com, executive editor for Harlem World Magazine, and a longtime member of the Harlem Writers Guild. I am your host, and we're kicking off Women's History Month with today's special guest, Miss Lynn Spivey. Now, I'm going to start today off with a poem that I had written quite a short while ago. It's called Beautiful People. Beautiful people, we stand out, overdue, emboss our stamp on simple, reimagine, reinvent. Look now, it's unrecognizable. We refuse to be outdone with genius and cryptic genetics. We expose mediocrity, surpass the incredible, shock. Our efforts built this entire world. Shake it, make it crane its neck, mock, but ultimately mimic our best, even in the absence of respect. Side note, some stargazers pretend they don't see Venus. That's okay, honey, they can watch Uranus. Only when thoroughly impressed will the compliments nice, tight, sick, slick ever slip past the lips of those with thick skin the color of crude oil. We are boldly critical, blame the beauty of our try, ascribe the might of our maker, but don't deny. And Lynn Spivey is one of the most beautiful women I know, one of the most beautiful people I know, and her background is very impressive. Lynn Spivey is a community leader, civil rights advocate, entrepreneur, and as president of the NYCHA branch of the NAACP, she has tripled membership and offer community programming in literacy, anti-violence, math tutoring, civic engagement, personal finance, financial literacy, and health. She launched her own fragrance, Scent of Essence. She launched Seed Publishing, Seed Games, and she has a nonprofit called We Count Incorporated. She's the author of books, and she has created essential tools that empower youth and family. And Lynn is a Bronx native raised in public housing, and she holds degrees from SUNY College at Old Westbury and John Jay College. She's a chaplain, mother of two, and a longtime member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Lynn is driven by faith and a mission to help others grow through service, education, and purpose-centered leadership. Thank you, Lynn, for joining us today and for all that you do and have done and continue to do. Good
Thank
morning, Lynn.
you much. Good morning. Good morning, Eartha. Good morning, community. Thank you
Yes,
so much. Thank you so much, Eartha, for that beautiful poem. Also
uh,
for the wonderful introduction. I'm excited to kick off um Women's History Month with you. My
yes.
fellow sister, my fellow friend, and also member of the NAACP Niger branch.
Yes, 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 yes. So I'm going to let you start off by telling us a little bit about the NITRA branch and what the NITRA branch does. And then I'll come in and mention my own personal experience with the NITRA branch.
Yes, definitely. Okay, the NAACP New York City Housing Authority branch has been in existence since 1969. Um, it started off with just the employees, and basically because if you think about that time, a lot of discriminations in the hiring practice. We had an organization called WinCrow, which was a black organization, and what they did was they utilized those members of that organization to help kick off the NAACP NITRA branch. At the time, we had a chairperson. His name was Simeon Gola. Simeon Gola was appointed by President Lindsay at the time, and he was also instrumental in helping kick off. He was our first black chairperson for New York City Housing Authority, and he was also instrumental in kicking off the NAACP NIGER branch. One of the things that we have to know that we focus on discrimination, and as the time moved forward, we begin to incorporate the employees and the residents of public housing. Public housing, NYCHA is the largest public housing in the nation. And when you think about all of the ills that are going on across this country as it relates to people of color, of course, you have to look at public housing. And so the branch is focusing on our six empowerment, they're basically empowerment pillars. And those are civic engagement, criminal justice, education, economic development, housing, health, and also environmental justice. And within each one of those pillars, we as the branch are focusing on providing empowerment programs and also legislation to improve the conditions of not just the employees of public housing, but also the residents. So thank you again for giving us an opportunity to be here. And even though I'm here, but it is a group of us. It is the executive committee that actually run the NAACP NIGER branch and make sure that we're focusing on to improve and and better the people of public housing.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Um, I know you had an initiative called the Just Read initiative a number of years back, and you still have the Just Read initiative. And the purpose of the Just Read initiative was to get the community to focus on books, pick up the books, put down the guns. So it was a anti-gun violence initiative, and you. Through that initiative, you recognized a whole host of leaders within the community for how they impacted the community through either art or business or technology or the sciences. And I was fortunate enough to receive an email nominating me for an award, which was a literary award called the Just Read Award. And uh, that was such an honor and such an unexpected honor that it was a shock, and I didn't know what to do with that information at first. So I called some of my family members, and that's when I found out that my family members used to prank each other by saying that they were nominating each other for NAACP awards, but it was a prank, and it was a long running prank within. It was a long running prank within my family, right? So I looked at the email and I said, well, this language is a little tight. I mean, the editing is just so perfect. So that's kind of strange for a prank. So I had to kind of back search the people that were on the committee to find out, oh, yeah, this was real.
Oh my gosh.
Like, oh, yeah, this was real. So I was so honored to be nominated for a literary award that I was just like, wow, I'm just so grateful just to be here, just to be honored. I'm just going to show up with my books and I'm going to set up a table and just speak to people about the books. And I'm going to congratulate the winner. And it's just going to be a great day. So my mother was there, my family was there, my children was there, my sisters were all there in the audience. And I'm telling them the whole time, oh, I'm just going to congratulate the winner. And it's just going to be a great day. So when the romance category came up, I see my book, Love Changes, on the screen. I'm like, there's my book. Oh, Rob, take a picture. It's in the middle. Take a picture, right? So my daughter took a picture, and I'm like, yay. Little did I know I was also nominated in the fiction category, right? And then I won in the fiction category. So I won the Just Read Literary Game Changer Award in the fiction category, of which I was so unprepared that I think I burst into tears and didn't have a speech.
Oh.
I think my exact speech was, I don't know what to say. Now you can't shut me up, but so I'm going to say this. I had a rough experience growing up in NYCHA because I was a straight A student and skipped the grade. So I couldn't go outside to play. I had to stay upstairs with my books. I had a lot of books as a kid, so I think I lived in Millbrook houses and Mitchell houses, and then I had family in Lincoln, so I would spend my summers between Lincoln projects and Eastchester projects. So most of my and then Walter projects. So most of my childhood, if it wasn't in my own home, was in one of the projects upstairs with my books. Because it wasn't cool to be a nerd in the projects, at least not back in the 70s. So I'm grateful for the work that the NYCHA branch of the NAACP is doing to give back to the community, to help the community members enrich their options, to learn more, to connect, and to focus on things beyond and situations and possibilities beyond what their current situation is, because it doesn't have to stay right where it is. The world has plenty of opportunities, plenty of options, and sometimes you just need to be introduced to the right tools. So I commend you for how you do what you do, the way you do what you do, and everywhere you offer your offerings.
Thank you. And let me just add this, because not only did you come and you accepted the award, but you continued, because we actually had given you the title of the ambassador, the Just Read ambassador. And with you being the Just Read ambassador, the next year, I think it was the next year, the year after that, when we had the event at the Schomburg Library, you were part of the whole, from the start to the finish of the Just Read Award. So we just want to continue to thank you. And you have continued to be the ambassador, continue to push the Just Read Award, push literacy in the community. So we just want to thank you for your continuous dedication to the organization. So thank you.
Thank you, Lynn. Thank you. Now, I want to talk about this next thing because very few people know how good I am at spades.
Mm.
So I want to talk about Spades Night on March 21st.
Okay. So what happened is, again, we have a great team. So we have this young guy. He just became our civic engagement chair. His name is Tavon Butler, and he came and he was like, oh, you know what? Let's do some fun thing. Let's have a spades tournament, because he actually he's from Harlem, so they had a spades tournament in Harlem, and he was the winner of that particular tournament. And so they just gave an award out. So we said, okay, what we'll do is we'll have a space tournament, but we're going to put a twist to it, because we're bringing the community together. And so it's not just going to be spades. We're going to have conversations. We're going to have other games. If people who don't play spades, they can actually participate in other games. And we had the first spades tournament in January 31st. It went well. We had a win. It was these two gentlemen, Tyrone and I forgot the other gentleman's name. They won, and they had bragging rights for God knows how long. I don't know how we let them win, but they won, right? So then we had scheduled to have it again. And on March 21st, we'll be hosting our second spades tournament. And this time we have Eartha, who's one of the sponsors, along with Harlem World, who's another sponsor. So again, thank you. Thank you for the connection. Thank you for the opportunity, because we need people to come out. We need you to come out and not only get your spade games on and talk big mess after you win, but also, just to be a part of the community, to be a part of where we can make a difference. It will be hosted in Harlem. I think the address is um, 224 West 24th Street. And so we're looking forward to having everybody come out. But again, thank you for the opportunity to definitely talk about the event. But not only that, but for you guys really sponsoring and being a part of us making this space tournament a success.
Thank you, and that's just like a few doors down from the Magic Johnson Theater on 124th Street, right?
Yes. Yep.
124th.
Mhm.
I'm definitely looking forward to that. Now I can't play as a sponsor, but I could show up in my Queen of Spades sweater.
Oh, God. No, we have a T-shirt. We have a T-shirt for you. We got a T-shirt for you. I wish I would have known. I would have a T-shirt and showed you the spades. We got the spades tournament T-shirt with the kings and queens, and then they got the cards, and it says NAACP NYCHA. So
Oh,
we got to get some update ones and add the sponsors up there. Add y'all on it. So we'll talk about that after this call.
okay. Because the spades is all about the bragging rights. All about the bragging rights. Oh, goodness. And a good spade. Oh, nothing feels like a good spades hand and a good partner. Woo!
Oh my God. Mm.
Phew.
I played, but I can't say I won. But
Forget it. Both jokers, the deuce of diamond, the deuce of spade, the ace, the king, the queen. Woo! Yeah. Oh, I'm already feeling it.
food, and we're gonna have drinks also. So it's not just playing. So if you didn't eat, you can come and eat. You can come there and have fun, but just come and enjoy the conversation. And of course, I'm gonna push membership. Become a member of the NYCHA branch of the NAACP. You don't have to live in NYCHA. You don't have to work in NYCHA. Um, you just have to live or work around the area in which NYCHAs are located. And guess what? NYCHA is all five in all five boroughs. Guess what? NYCHA is all across the city. So anybody can be a member of the branch. So come on out and join.
Wow. Wow. I mean, that's amazing. And it's amazing how you're growing the community within the community,
Right.
and helping families to support each other. And this is just beautiful. This
Mhm.
is just beautiful. Of all the initiatives that NYCHA has done, which one is your favorite?
My favorite is the Just Read Awards. That is definitely my favorite. It's the Just Read Awards. And then of course we have the Black History Month program that again that we have to postpone the date from February the 26th. It will be on March the 18th. So again, that's a free event. Come out. We'll provide the flyer, and Eartha can talk about it at the next show, but everyone is welcome to come out. All we do is ask that you RSVP, because we have to provide your name to the front desk, because it is in our building at 90 Church Street, and they need to know everyone that's going to be attending 24 hours in advance. So, good morning, community. You're all welcome to come out to the event on March the 18th. And again, it's a free event. We'll be having food. It's going to be from 6 to 8, and we'll be having food and honoring some great um, leaders in the community.
Wow. And I love how what you do empowers members of the community, and gives members of the community support, as well as a network, as well as the resources and the tools. Because I know, just going back years and years and years ago, fresh out of college, the I'm going to call it the stumbling block that a lot of us faced was you couldn't get a job if you didn't have experience, and you couldn't get experience if you didn't have a job.
Right.
Right. And the internships and programs that were typically open to other races, they would deny us for, and they wouldn't give us a solid foot in.
Right.
Regardless of how studious we were, regardless of what our backgrounds or potential was, it was like a block there.
Right.
Barriers to entry is what they call it now. We didn't know what to call it. We called it circled ads in the New York Times, and more money wasted on facts and a resume. That's what we called it. You
Mhm.
know,
Right.
so, what compelled you to one find an organization like the NAACP, get your footing there, and then do the level of outreach that you've done over the years? Because most people would just say, hey, this is impossible. There's no options for us. Let me just do something that's been, beneath what my capacity is.
Mhm.
Most people kind of just look at it that way. Well, I can't do this and I can't do that. And that's how can't becomes part of someone's vocabulary. But what compelled you to say, hey, I see something more? I see a bigger, broader vision for our people.
Mhm. Well, part of we're going to just go back with nature in general. I had the opportunity in growing up in nature. Um, I ran track and also played volleyball. And they had these volleyball tournaments, and we would go across the city to the different housing developments, and we would play. We were the Bronx champs. I grew up in Monterey houses in the Bronx, and so just that part. But then running track and be a part of Tip Astor Track Club, which was also a part of NYCHA. I got an opportunity from going with the volleyball team, traveling across the city to traveling across the country, participating in the Boston relays, Kentucky relays. I made it to the nationals, which is one step from going to the Olympic trials. So all of this was because of the opportunity I took took um, being a part of nature as a resident. So when I finally became employed, it gave me an opportunity as I'm working for this organization. I felt that, I wanted to give back to the organization and which had given so much to me because of the exposure that I had and being a part of a team and being a part of an organization that allowed me to again travel all across the country. I would have never gotten that opportunity. And when I say, I've been to Kentucky, to different, I mean, places that I wouldn't go, and for free. And so when the opportunity came for me, and I also got a chance to see my mentor in my mind, which was Wilma Rudolph. So when I was running track, I got an opportunity to actually meet my mentor. Because again, you all have to tie it back to me being a part of NYCHA. If I wasn't a part of NYCHA participating in the programs, then I wouldn't got that opportunity. So with that, when I started working for NYCHA, this gentleman, he came, he was like, oh, you should be a part of the NAACP. You should join the NAACP. And of course, someone who I admired most was Dr. Hazel and Dukes. She was a member and also my sorority sister. So, and I heard her on the radio, and she was so strong and boisterous. But before I came to NYCHA, I was also a part of a union. So advocating for other people was, one of the things that was instilled in me. And so, hearing her being a part of, advocating for other people, I joined the branch and I joined as the secretary, not really knowing that the secretary is really one of the most important part of the branch because they know everything, they do everything. And so when I got the opportunity, um, I ended up running for president, and I won in 2010. I won with one vote. I won by one vote, and so that was the stepping stone for me to be able to continue to go further. Um, we doubled the membership. We had a lot of people attend our programs, but one of the most happiest moments that we did celebrate was last year at the national convention. At the national convention, our branch was awarded first place in the category for the programming for the whole nation for the NAACP. So, we had and it's called the Dr. Dahlsheim Award. So we was the winner of that award. So that was a blessing for us. And again, as we continue to move forward, we're looking to do bigger and better things, and not to get the award, but only because we know that it's making a difference within our people, and that is really what it's all about for me. People was like, "Oh, I'm gonna take credit." Listen, people can take credit for all the things that we may be doing, but at the end of the day, if it's impacting our people and it's making them better, then you can take the credit. You can have the credit. But we all know when you got credit, you're in debt. So that's really what it is. It is because when you look back when you're younger and you look back when you've always been doing something, you continue to do it as you go on. So my real purpose, when you look at the organizations I have started, is really about birthing the seed. I had an organization called Birthing the Seed, and really because everything starts and um and when it starts in seed form, you get an opportunity to water it and to grow it and to nurture, and that's what we've been doing, and getting people such as yourself, Eartha, on the team that have the same vision, to want to see people grow in different areas, whether it's literacy, whether it's economic development and power, um, environmental justice. We have all of these different pillars, and in each pillar, we make sure that we have programs and mind you, the NAACP is not about having programs. That's something added that our branch does. It's really about legislating, coming up with laws that and advocating for laws that are against our people. And we do that as well. We have the opportunity of doing submitting resolution. Our latest resolution that we submitted was really about the red option program. A lot of times when people pay their rent, if they pay their rent late, it negatively impacts their credit. So we submitted a resolution, whereas a person had the opportunity to opt into a program where they can actually include their credit, include their rent payment if they know that they're paying their rent on time, to increase their credit score. Because while we all know that if you don't have a good credit score, you're paying more money. You're paying more money for or car rental. A car
Mhm.
to buy a car, to do anything. It's all about what your credit score is. So if that is going to give you an opportunity, you pay your rent on time. You know that's what it's going to take. Whatever it takes to help us move to the next level. That's what we're looking forward to doing.
Yeah, excellent, because there seems to be a lot of hurdles that our community has had to overcome just to access better credit, better jobs, better housing, and loans for businesses. Um, um, from what I've noticed, for our community very specifically, that seems to have been a moving target. It's like the easier it gets for us, sometimes it seems that there are systems at work that try to complicate
Yeah.
that process for each of us. So it's great to know that there is advocacy on behalf of the NAACP that can help us to at least push past those obstacles
Mhm.
that are attempting to keep us from our goals. So thank you for that. um,
And let me just say this too, Eartha. A lot of times, what's happening is people, our people, we look at the NAACP, which is over 100 years old, right? This year we'll be celebrating our 117th convention, right? And so, as the younger people, they're like, they can't relate. We can't relate to the NAACP. That's an old organization or whatever, right? But what we don't respect, someone else will respect it. And I'm gonna give you, just tell you this a story. There was these young guys. They live over there in Ingersoll, in Brooklyn, how in Brooklyn development, right? So they joined the NAACP. So the guy, he was telling us about how he was hanging out with his friends and everything. And at the time, the police had stopped all of them. They wanted to see their IDs. We were instrumental in the stop and frisk, getting rid of that, right? So they want to see all of their IDs. So what the guy did was, instead of him showing his picture ID, he showed his membership card. So the police told him he can leave, but the rest of them have to stay, right?
mm,
Why? The reason why is because the NAACP, we have workshops that teach you what to do when stopped by the police, how you interact and things of that nature. So again, we may not know how important the NAACP is, but the police knows, and a lot of times people don't want to smoke, because if you're illegally stopping people or whatever, harassing people, then it's going to be something more comes out of it when a person knows their rights and know what they need to do. So that's why, one of the reasons why we hold these different workshops at the resident leaders meetings, and we also encourage people to join. Not because $30 for the membership for a year. That means from the time you join to the think about that. You buy a cup, you buy coffee or whatever, and as long as it can, you have something. You're part of an organization. You're going to get information and things of that nature. That's what you look at, the broader picture of joining an organization, not just what they're going to do for me or how they're going to do, and also trying to give back yourself. But knowing that, you have, and I tell people, when you have your membership card and you have a driver's license, put your membership card in front of your driver's license. So when you open up your wallet, that's what the first thing that they're going to see. So they know that they're not dealing with no dummy. They're dealing with someone who knows what their rights are. So you got to act right when you dealing with me.
Wow. Let me say two things. First, let me say one thing, and then let me tell you a small story, a short story, and then let me reiterate that one thing again. Um, for those who are listening and who just heard what Lynn just said, I encourage you to connect with the NYCHA branch of the NAACP and to become a member and to encourage your children to become a member, especially if they're high school students. And I'm going to tell you a story as to why it's beneficial for high school students to become a card carrying member of the NAACP. And I'm going to say that again. It's very beneficial for high school students to become a card carrying member of the NAACP. Now, I suggest NAACP NYCHA for their programming, but definitely become a card carrying member of the NAACP. And let me tell you a story about what happened to my son a number of years ago. My son was a senior in high school, and he just transferred. He transferred from one school to another. And because he transferred after the school year had started, he didn't have an ID, because that part of the school year, when they take the pictures and give the picture ID, he didn't get a picture ID. So he had to take his SAT. So I took him to the Department of Motor Vehicle for a non-driver's license ID so that he could take his SAT. Well, maybe a few days after that, my son had a friend that he was escorting home. So he escorts the friend home to her door, and on his way back home, he swipes his student Metro card, and they say to him, "Let's see some ID," right? Because they see him swipe his student Metro card. And he says, he's so used to walking around with no ID. He said, I don't have ID, right? He totally forgot I'd taken him to the Department of Motor Vehicles. He goes, and the whole year he was without ID. So he goes, "Oh, I don't have ID. I just have my Metro card." He goes, "Well, I need to see some student ID, police officers. I need to see some student ID, or we're going to take you down to central booking for being an adult in possession of a student Metro card." Now, my son was every bit of 17 years old, right? But if he was not able to produce an ID, they were going to take him to central booking and fingerprint him for being an adult in possession of a student Metro card, right? So he's like rumbling and fumbling and searching all through his person. And that's when he finds the DMV driver's non-driver's license ID, and he shows them the ID, and they let him go. But they were this close to taking him to central booking. And when I say my son is the most non-threatening, gentleman, sweetheart of a person, he's an amazing sweetheart. Doesn't bother nobody. That's just not him. But on that particular day, if he didn't have ID, they were going to arrest him. And I've noticed, I've had this conversation with several of my friends who have these sons that are just mild-mannered, gentlemen, scholarly, just decent human beings, who'd also been placed in that situation where either they had gotten arrested, nearly arrested, or ticketed. One person I know was arrested for falling asleep on the subway in one car, and in another part of the subway, the subway was robbed in a different part of the subway. But because he was asleep at the last stop, they arrested him for the crime. And he was another mild-tempered, mild-mannered person with ID. So just being with ID in New York, it's not a crime, but it can be a crime. It can be a criminal offense if you're in the wrong part of town and discovered by someone looking for someone to blame, and while we are walking around in the skin that we're in, it's important again to be a card carrying member of the NAACP, because at least there, one, you have a card, you have ID, you have something with your name on it, you have connection, you have community, you have access to someone who will hear your truth and could take it or point you into the direction of how to resolve an issue. Part of the problem with today's youth is that today's youth, for the most part, not all, but some, don't understand the benefit of community and the benefit of numbers and solidarity, right? Everyone wants to resolve an issue themselves and stake their claim on fighting the good fight themselves, and doesn't realize the importance of history, the importance of legacy, the importance of knowing what the blueprint is, what the blueprint is to fix it, what the landscape has been in trying to resolve an issue. Most of the issues that we have today have a legacy of advocacy around trying to resolve that issue. But if you try to resolve that issue by yourself, you have no idea of what that landscape was all of those years, what laws had been passed, what laws failed, what laws benefited us, what laws held us back. Who were the people that had the information? Who were the people that knew the ways around or how to navigate and resolve something? What worked? What didn't work? You starting from scratch. You don't know the history of what works and what didn't work. You're trying something in a silo. You're trying to fix it yourself. And today's generation wants to be the first Black person to do X, Y, Z, and to take credit for that without really fully benefiting off of the legacy that happened over the course of the years, and the people and the organizations that work towards resolving that very same issue. There's a history there. So if you know the history, you know what to do next, not what was already done. And that lesson is missing from a lot of young folks today, because they see something wrong and they think because they see something wrong that they're the first person to see it. They're the first person to get upset. They're the first person to try to solve it or resolve it. But there's been a history of what Black folks and the people that Black folks have partnered with in trying to resolve something. Oh, there's a long history. And just because they didn't learn Black history, or they didn't get the benefit of having been in an environment where they could hear the stories and hear the different organizations like the NAACP and the Congress of Racial Equality and all of the student nonviolent and the Southern Christians and all of these organizations through the civil rights movement that kept us together in solidarity, and then opened up our plight to the rest of the country and the rest of the world. Just because they weren't aware of the movement and how it's been moving, a lot of young people think that the movement hasn't moved at all. And I would also encourage anyone who's young and listening to this message to find out about the NAACP, do some independent study the NAACP, not just NYCHA, but the organization itself, who was a part of it, the NAACP and their connection to Brown versus the Board of Education, who the key players of the NAACP have been throughout history, and what have they done to open up opportunities for not only the Black community, because it started with the Black community, but it filtered out and benefited all colored people. Yeah, I say do some research. Start with the NAACP, and then you can research some of the other organizations. They're important too. But but again, circle back, become a card carrying member of the NAACP if you don't do nothing else. Start there. Start somewhere. Start there.
And we actually have a youth council. So we have the adult branch and we also have the youth branch as well. So in the youth branch, they have right now they have a game that they play on TikTok. So for all those people that's listening, if you want to win some money, knowing your history, this month we're starting off with women history, black history, but of course it's focusing on women. Go to I Got Power game game show on TikTok, on Instagram, and on Mondays and Thursdays at 7 o'clock. We have a show up there where you play games. If you know the history, you win prizes, and at the end, the person who has the most answers, they end up winning a cash prize. We cash app it to you or sell it to you right then
Oh,
and there. So it's $25, and as we continue to play and get more sponsorship, the winnings can go up. But again, that's something that the youth is engaged in, and the youth we have the youth president or Brina Bryan. She has her TikTok. She's engaged in the youth getting out, and they're doing some advocacy work. It's really about anyone who, like you said, in high school looking to go to college. What do you need? You need it's all about a recommendation. You need
mm-hmm,
money. You need a recommendation, and
mm-hmm,
and if you get a recommendation from an organization such as the NAACP, it looks good on your resume for you to put down that you were a part and that this is some of the things that you did. So all this is about exposure and it's about giving our people an opportunity because a lot of times, like you indicated earlier, Eartha, um, we unless we only time we can get something is we got to work triple hard about on getting it. But when you get in a position where you can bring people up or where you can help people, then that's what you should be doing. And that's one of the things that we pride ourselves on doing. And we have young people that we know. Um, we have a lot of times we win grants, and when we win these particular grants, we need people to go out and execute whatever it is, and it's not a lot of work. And so what we do, we give stipends, and sometimes it's $100, sometimes it's even more. But again, it's all about being a part of an organization and taking advantage of the things that they have to offer, but also giving up your time. Yes, we got to make sacrifices sometimes, and it may be an hour or two of your time, but not all the time. Maybe once or twice a month. They have a meeting once a month, and the meeting is normally like an hour or two. It's virtual. That's it. And then if they give an event, come to the event, participate. That's it. And you can start and do whatever it is that you want to do, that you think that you can do because you got a network of people. So we talk about exposure, and let me just mention this one thing too. And when we talk about, when you talk about young people um, getting arrested, right? In the Jewish community, they have the rabbis station and they stop them before they can even get fingerprinted or anything, right? But in our community, we don't have that opportunity, and those are the things that strategically we're working on. How can we create these different communities where we can support our young people so that if someone is being arrested or and before they go into wanting to you know basically get them for these petty crimes and things of that nature or something that they didn't even do because they didn't have an ID or whatever. So why they being arrested? Let's see how we can be able to go there and talk to the police chief, the commanding officer or whomever it is that we need to talk to in order for us to try to mitigate this situation. And so that's what it's all about too, coming up, because again, in each one of our pillars, we do have criminal justice. And that is something that the criminal justice chair is working on, making sure that they have an opportunity to, educate people and what it is, how to advocate, and how, what they need to do with the next step if someone gets arrested, and what they need to do, how they should be advocating. Making
Yes.
sure that you tell your kids, don't say a word. I don't care what they, because they're strategy. Don't say a word. Make sure you got a lawyer, all of that. Even if it's prepaid legal, whatever it is, like getting all of those things in system. The NAACP, we do have the legal fund, but we don't give out lawyers. Why? Because what happens is if they lose, they're gonna blame the NAACP. If they win, they're gonna forget about the NAACP. But if they lose, so what we do is, like you said, we offer advice.
I mean, excellent. So again, I encourage mothers to explain the benefits of becoming a card-carrying member of the NAACP to your daughters and especially your sons. Um, um, NYCHA branch has a Facebook presence as well as no, not a Facebook presence, an Instagram presence. What's the Instagram for NYCHA?
And NAACP NYCHA, NYCHA.
Thank you, and a TikTok presence, right?
The TikTok present right now is I Got Power Game Show, and
Mhm.
that is for our game show. And then from there, they will direct you when we're doing other things too, because the youth is working on their presence on Instagram. I mean on TikTok and all the other social medias. They're working on their presence.
Well, thank you, and again, the programming is amazing. Everything from how to repair your credit to what to do about getting into a higher education, college institution, a university, a HBCU, whether it's a letter of recommendation or support in literacy, or support in math, which I love. I love that you're helping youth with both the math and the reading, um, because in a lot of schools, some kids are underperforming,
Yes.
you know.
And let me
So,
just say this. I'm sorry to cut you off.
mhm.
The education. Right now we have a program. It's going to start on Tuesday, and it's from kindergarten to fifth grade. It's a literacy program. We have a teacher who's going to be virtual from 5 to 6. And the focus is on phonics, comprehensive, everything it is about improving, increasing your reading level. And this teacher is awesome. You can email us if you want to, you or your child, or someone that you want to be a part of this program. The registration actually closed, but because we're here today and we're, giving you the opportunity, because it didn't start yet, to still be able to, enroll your child, or enroll a child that you may know that needs help, just email us or give me a call. The number and everything is popping up, and we'll make sure that that child is included on this program that we have. And it's the Just Read literacy program.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
and I also want to add this: join the NYCHA branch on Instagram, and if you see any of the programming that they're doing, an event for, or a program, or an initiative, or a project, anything that they're doing, if there's a flyer advertising it on Instagram, which there usually is, either forward that flyer to someone you know who needs it, or take a screenshot of that flyer and send it via text message to someone you know who needs it. Any of the information that they're sharing, share that information, because the information is only as good as it is when it's in the hands of the right person. The person who needs it is always the right person. So pass that information along. Don't hide it, divide it, share it. Share the information. Don't keep it a secret.
When they say sharing is caring, well,
It's
sharing
caring.
is sharing information because you care. You care about your community. You care about the people who you're involved in. So that's our new kick, right? Sharing is caring. Share that
Sharing is
information.
caring. Because I say the one of the seeds of wealth is information. Information has always been a seed for wealth, and sometimes something is just as simple as knowing how, or knowing who to contact, knowing where to go, or knowing what the process is. And the NAACP has a history, has a legacy. Lynn, as the leader of her chapter for over 16 years, the NYCHA branch of the NAACP, as the chapter branch president, has been a wealth of information and has been continually growing the organization and growing the organization's programming and offerings and empowering constituents of both the NYCHA branch as well as her chapter, as well as the community at large, and anyone who's a part of NYCHA, who's a part of the event, who comes to the events, who supports the event, and even those who are part of Just Read, who are authors. She's doing all that she can to ensure that the community itself is thriving. And that's really what it's all about, just ensuring that we are thriving as individuals and we are thriving as a community. And nowadays, it's getting a little scary. It is getting a little scary. So you want to hold the hand that's closest to you, and definitely hold the hands of outreach, because outreach is what it is and what it needs to be with the NAACP. So again, Lynn, please remind us how to connect with you, connect with the NYCHA branch of the NAACP, and remind us of the events that are in the immediate future.
Okay. Again, first, I want to thank Soul City Network for having me here. Eartha, thank you for interviewing me, for being a gracious host. If you want to get in contact with the NAACP, you can go on our website, which is naacp.org, and that's NAACP, NYCHA, NYCHA.org. Or you can email us at nychabranch@gmail.com. You can find me at L Spivey Prez, also at NAACP NYCHA on Instagram. And the phone number is 347-669-2421. With the youth and also myself as well, I Got Power Game Show. You can check us out at I Got Power Game Show. And our upcoming events is, of course, the Black History event, annual Black History event. That's going to be at 90 Church Street, March the 18th from 6 to 8. It's a free event. And then we have the Spades Tournament, March the 21st. Come on out and get your going on. And that will be at 224 West 124th Street. And come out and get your spades game going on in April, every Wednesday or Thursday. And it's not confirmed, but once you send an email, you'll get this information. We have a financial literacy program on every Wednesday or Thursday. We just got to confirm the date, and it's virtual. Get out, come out. You can ask any kind of questions that you would like to ask our financial economic development chair, who is Ryan Mack. Any question. And then We're looking forward to having our Just Read Awards in May. And in May, our Just Read Awards, we don't have the location yet, but be on the lookout for that event. Those are the up and coming events that we have right now. And of course, always membership is open each and every day. And we hope that we can have you become a member. To all of the ladies, happy March Women's History Month. And as a gift for the branch, membership is normally $30 a year. But anyone who's listening for the whole month of March, whether you're a male or female, our membership will be $20 for the year. Again, that's $20 for the year. So thank you again, Soul City Network. Thank you, Eartha. And I appreciate being here. And thank you to everyone who's listening.
Thank you. And I want to say a brief shout out to some of our listeners. We have Leverage Credit Recovery listening. So I want to say thank you, Leverage Credit Recovery, for listening today. And thank you, author Megan Jones, for listening today. And I encourage everyone to please connect with the NAACP NYCHA on Instagram. Connect with NAACP NYCHA on Instagram. And if you're watching Soul City Good Morning Community, please subscribe, like, and share. Share the information. That's what we're here for. Lynn, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for the information, and thank you for what you do. And I'm going to be connecting with you again on a few other things that I'm looking forward to, especially that spades game and my tournament and my t-shirt. Want my t-shirt.
Yes.
And thank you, Lynn.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful day.
Okay.
Wow. Well, Lynn Spivey is a jewel of our community, and I'm grateful to know her and grateful for the example that she sets. And if you're watching and you are an artist, an entrepreneur, a member of the community, you have a small business, and you would like to, one, speak to our audience, grow your network, become part of a larger network, hey, feel free to reach us out here at Soul City Network. Like, subscribe, share, reach out, message us, become a part of the show, and we would love to have a conversation with you. Again, my name is Eartha Watts Hicks. Good morning, community, and please enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.
We are the sons and daughters of the soul. We are resilient and forever forward-thinking. We ask for nothing else than the opportunity to live and to create the lives that we were meant to live. We want nothing but an equal chance at options and possibilities. The same possibilities and options to live out our potential as our fellow man. We want to be heard, understood, and expressive in our reality. We are the future. We are the creative. We are here.